So you've got this highly enticing CBS News crime. U.S. YouTuber still in jail after trying to visit remote tribe on Forbidden Island where another American was killed. Of course, this is the Sentinel Islands. The way that it describes highly Negroid type people, black, right? An American YouTuber was arrested after visiting an off-limits island in the Indian Ocean with hopes of establishing contact with exclusive tribe. Was further detained in custody on Thursday. The 24-year-old was initially arrested more than 6 years after another American was killed with arrows by the tribe on the same island. Automatically, in my mind, as abstract as it may seem, I'm thinking about uncommon side effects on, you could say, for lack of a better, HBO Max. It's Max. An amazing series. Just got through watching Scavenger's Reign, which a lot of the same people worked on. And if you're interested in that, another series you ought to check out is Primal. That's a really interesting area of study, but it gets into these, supposedly these islanders, these Sentinel people, tribe, have been undisturbed for 60,000 years. It's like, yeah, right. Can you imagine the treasure trove of information that this tribe embodies, that it would be a, sorry, somebody's calling, that it would be a storehouse of information about human behavior, whether humans partake in sort of natural behaviors, such as things that are like very bisexual or homosexual, or like apes or monkeys may behave, or if there's a direct effect from oxytocin that causes sort of a reverence toward a single mate for life. We see this, the book DNA by Watson and Crick. Crick did a little bit of contribution to it, but it's mainly Watson's works, and it's just as or before the human genome was completed, and then they found out later that, wow, we were way off once computer technology came in and they were able to correct a lot of the errors. But what an undertaking, right? But I digress. Can you imagine what pharmaceutical companies would be able to do with this information? What sales companies would do with this information? What the manipulation of this tribal system as to maybe, since nobody's allowed there, to be able to around the clock observe these people by means of, who knows, if they planted cameras or if they're doing some sort of satellite, or maybe many different forms of observation and recording, right? And then to see the physiology, from what I could see, if these were authentic pictures, I went through several images last night, if the feet are as huge as they appear from an upward perspective of supposedly a drone. Some years back, a ship crashed, and you can see it, I suppose, through Google Earth. Somebody was showing that, but that the tribe had attacked these people, and that they were narrowly saved or escaped by way of helicopter. And you'd have to think that these people are entirely stupid, that they're not able to rationalize or realize that they don't really want to get off the island, that they have enough information as to what exists outside the island, that there are probably even a very covert shadow government globalist organizations that might do the same exact thing that this person is being arrested for here. So I'll read the rest of this. An American YouTuber who was arrested after visiting an off-limits island in the Indian Ocean with hopes of establishing contact with a reclusive tribe was further detained in custody on Thursday. The 24-year-old was initially arrested more than 6 years after another American was killed. I'm just reiterating, I know I already read this, with arrows by the tribe on the same island. Mikhailo Viktorovich Polikov will next appear before a local court in Port Blair. It almost looks like that might be Ukrainian origin, Russian or Ukrainian origin. The capital of India's Andaman and Nicobar Islands on April 29th, police said. Let's see if it'll allow me. Okay. Pokolikov from Scottsdale, Arizona was arrested on March 31st, 2 days after he set foot. So this is March, April, May. We're coming on May. So this is very recent. It's the last few weeks. And he set foot on the restricted territory of North Sentinel Island in a bid to meet people from the reclusive Sentinelese tribe. It may be claimed to be an adventure trip, but the fact that there has been a violation of Indian laws, outsiders meeting Sentinelese could endanger the tribe's survival, said a senior police officer, requesting anonymity. Anonymity. Why is it so hard to say certain things right now? As he isn't authorized to speak about the case under investigation. Polikov is suspected of violating Indian laws that carry a possible sentence of up to 5 years in prison and a fine. And of course this goes on, but you know that large companies, whether the Indian government is even aware, is able to take, through ultraviolet or infrared or listening mechanisms or just recording algorithms is able to take data from this reclusive tribe and transmute that into a meritocratic earnable cash system where there's an understanding of how the primal or base substrates of particular races are manipulated, but through the human evolution and conditioning to say that, the postulation that this tribe has been undisturbed for 60,000 years, right? Who can say that conclusively one way or the other? That's a huge assumption that I read at one time or the other. But as to say that human behavior at its base is very fascinating when there aren't constructs and structures of intellectual means, a caste system, if you will, implied upon the human psyche, and to see how assumed naturalistic behavior, aside from posits about the 100 monkey theory and how just exposure to information, whether environmental or if it's just floating in the field around us, doesn't, and that would be a whole area of study on its own, right? To see how much of this information has been leaked to these people, and more so how much they have ascertained, picked up on through, who knows, antennae, telomere length, and that's a whole area of study on its own.